Hey everybody, Jeff Miller here, head of GMAT instruction at Target Test Prep, and today I'm very excited to chat about a video about the best way to study for the GMAT. Look, I realize GMAT studying can be a bear. There's a lot riding on the GMAT, so it's a very serious endeavor that you're about to take. So in today's video, we're going to cover a number of tips that you can follow to get the most out of your GMAT studying. Your GMAT studying is going to be broken down into two phases. Phase one is going to be the learning phase. Now, during the learning phase, which we'll talk more about in a moment, you are going to be learning each GMAT, quant, and verbal topic. You're going to be studying them individually and then practicing them until you achieve mastery. Once you get through all of those topics, the next move is you go into the practice phase. Now, the practice phase or the practice test phase is when you are going to be taking your official practice exams. So you're going to be putting all of that knowledge that you've learned in the learning phase to work and making sure that you are set and ready for the day of your exam. Strategy number one is use a topic by topic approach in your studying. I love this concept and this idea. I literally talk to students about it daily. Now, here's the deal. There is a ton that you need to learn for the GMAT, between quant, between verbal, hundreds and hundreds of topics, right? Now, could you crack open a book and just start, shuffling through hundreds and thousands of questions? Yeah, you could probably do that. I wouldn't recommend it. Some people maybe have found success that way, and a lot of others certainly have not, and I've spoken to a lot of them. So, what is a topic by topic approach? Well, you're taking any topic, individual quant or verbal topic. You are learning everything there is to know about that topic and then practicing just that topic to show that you've achieved mastery. So a common topic that people study, number properties. Okay, you learn about even and odd numbers, positive and negative numbers, divisibility, remainders, unit digit patterns, etc., etc. Then you practice 100 or more questions just on that topic, and you'll break them up into sets of about 15 questions apiece. Initially, not really worrying about timing, but just going ahead and making sure that you're focused on accuracy. And that'll allow you to see, hey, do I have any holes? Did I get a bunch of even odd questions wrong? Did I get a bunch of unit digit pattern questions wrong? You just need to be able to see where your holes are from that topic. Then you plug those holes by going back to your study materials or your notes, and you rinse and repeat throughout that topic. Once complete, you move on to the next quant or verbal topic in your study plan. And this is a way where you can climb each rung of the ladder individually and ensure that you're not doing anything in a disorganized way and you're learning each topic one by one. Strategy number two, alternate between quantitative and verbal study. So this one is also big. I get a lot of people asking me, hey, can I study quant for 3 months and then switch to verbal for 3 months? The problem is, imagine just doing math and then not touching math for 3 months when you begin your verbal prep, right? It's just not going to work. You're going to forget so much stuff. So what's the best way to lay out your study plan? Have it move between quant and verbal, back and forth, right? So maybe you spend 4 to 5 days on a quant topic, and then you move to a verbal topic after that, and then back to quant and back to verbal. And in fact, that's actually how the Target Test Prep study plan is set up, which I love. We give you a quant topic, let's say it's linear and quadratic equations in one of our missions, and then after you complete learning it and practicing it, you'll move to the next verbal topic, say subject-verb agreement and sentence correction. So it's a great way to learn. It'll also change things up a bit, because if you're getting too heavy in math, maybe you get a little bored of it and you lose the desire to want to sit down and study it. So there's other benefits to it, but for sure, make sure that you're alternating between quant and verbal in your study plan. Strategy number three, take notes while learning. All right, so if you're in any sort of prep course, you're either reading or watching videos or both. In the case of the Target Test Prep course, we have videos and we have reading, but either way, we don't want our students just reading or just watching videos. You really need to be an active participant in your studying. If you're not, think about how things are going to go in one ear and then out the other. You're just going to forget the stuff that you're learning. And also, notes are not only a great way to ensure that you understand something, but to have them for later so you can go back and you can review those notes at any time so that you don't have to get all the way into your study materials to do your review. And as we'll talk about shortly, those notes can also be helpful in creating flashcards, which are also a really big part of review. So again, just be an active participant in your learning. Do it by making sure you're taking notes. It'll keep yourself accountable, and it'll ensure that you're really learning and absorbing the things that are in front of you with GMAT, Quant, and Verbal. Strategy number 4, and I said we were going to talk about this, use flashcards to study strategically. So, okay, you're going through your materials, you're taking your notes. Well, why not take those notes and put them and convert them into flashcards? Flashcards are awesome because they allow you to get these very quick study sessions in really any time of day. I'm always telling my students, carry your flashcards with you if you're just writing them out, or if you have digital flashcards, you can use those. We're actually in the process of creating our own flashcard app so our students can use them digitally. And either way, it's great because let's say you're waiting in line at a grocery store, or you're waiting for a doctor's office, or you're sitting on a park bench for 10 minutes waiting for friends. You can study your flashcards. Now, flashcards should have key concepts, key equations, or just things that you're getting wrong. You can make a flashcard out of almost anything. And then make your flashcard studying fun. So whether, again, they're digital or written, put your flashcards into different piles, right? So if there's something that you definitely have mastered, you don't have to look at that flashcards or that bunch of flashcards as often as the stuff that you haven't mastered. And shuffle the deck. Look at them in different orders when you review them. The point is, these are all small things that are going to allow you to study when you're not sitting at your desk, when you're not sitting at a computer, because you really do need to have this stuff at the tip of your brain. And one way to do that is to study it often and in spurts, and flashcards will certainly help you do that. Strategy number 5, take a look back at what you've learned. This is huge. So we just talked about that you'll be studying for the GMAT for a number of months, right? Well, imagine on month 5, and you're like 80% done with your study plan, and you have not looked back at all of anything you learned prior to month 5. Do you think that you'll have all of that knowledge still squared away? Probably not, right? So what you have to do is you need to make sure that review is a big part of your study plan. Now, if you're a target test prep student, the good news is we have review set for you in your study plan. We give you 10-question quizzes at the beginning of every mission. We give you 40-question review tests every few missions or so, all to test on stuff that you've previously done. Now remember, looking back at what you've learned can also be looking at your notes, looking at your flashcards, things we've already discussed. But it's important that you don't allow past topics to kind of fall through the cracks so that by the time you get to your GMAT, you're like, oh gosh, 85% of everything I learned is not really on the tip of my brain because I haven't looked at it for months. So let's avoid that. Just make sure you have review as a part of your study plan. Strategy number 6 is examine your error log weekly. So this is more along the review front, but as you're going through any sort of course or study plan, hopefully you have an error log. Once again, at TTP, we do have an error log that's actually set up for our students. All they have to do is add questions to it. And the beauty of an error log is not only are you seeing the types of questions that you're getting wrong, and of course re-reviewing them like I said, but you're indicating why you got them wrong, right? So if you're making careless mistakes, you're going to see the types of questions that are causing you to make careless mistakes. If you're misusing concepts, you're going to see those questions, etc., etc. So the key is you want to look at that error log every week. And again, it'll allow you to see the types of questions you're getting wrong, why you're getting them wrong, and hopefully make the necessary fixes you need to ensure that any knowledge gaps that exist are filled so you can confidently move forward with your study plan. Now we can talk about phase 2, and that is to spread out your practice tests. So phase 2 obviously is about taking those practice tests. Now, GMAT offers 6 total practice tests. A lot of times we will tell students to take one at the beginning of their prep to get a baseline score, but because the database of the first official GMAT practice test is pretty large, even if you repeat it again, and because it's been so long since you took it, you may see a few repeats, but chances are you'll see a lot of fresh questions, so it's okay if you repeat that first one. Now, the key is in this phase is that you are also treating these practice tests like gold, meaning don't stack them on top of each other. Take a practice test, give yourself 4 to 7 days in between to review, see what went wrong in those tests. Really go through each question one by one. Look at all your wrong answers. Heck, even look at the stuff you got correct to see why you got it correct. Was it because you did what you needed to do? Did you follow a process or a rule or a concept? Or did you get a lucky guess? And if you got a lucky guess, of course, you want to put yourself in a position where you can say, well, why did I even have to guess on this? By doing all 6 of those practice exams and really reviewing and looking for knowledge gaps, the goal is, or the idea is, that you are going to be set for your GMAT, given that you've done well on those tests and you're kind of hitting in or around your target score. Now, of course, the flip side of that is if you're not hitting your target score, you can take a step back and ask yourself if you need time to study, and that's totally okay too. But hopefully, if you followed the strategies and tips here, you're following a great study plan. It's a topical plan. It includes review and building and making and reviewing flashcards and your error log. So as you get up to that practice test phase, you'll just be getting through those tests, you'll be hitting your target scores, and you'll be exactly where you need for test day.